Items. New items have been added, surprising no one. Due to the volume of items added with the release of patch 4.0, they will not be listed in the patch notes. That's pretty common. New recipes have been added. Again, due to the volume, they will not be listed in the patch notes. Certain recipes have been simplified. These simplified recipes will be available even if they do not appear in the crafting completion records or have never been completed before. Huh. I don't know how that works. New recipes have been added to the previously existing master recipe books. If a player already has these master recipe books, the recipes will be automatically added to the crafting log upon release of 4.0. Interesting. Samurai and Red Mage have... Oh, okay, that makes sense. Now I get it. There are things that you can craft for Samurai and Red Mage. Samurai and Red Mage have been added as a required job for certain gear. Yep. The Keeper's Hymn can no longer be used due to the removal of attribute points. I don't know what that was, so I guess I'm not going to miss it. Grade 6 materia has been added. I thought they said Grade 6 materia was not going to be added, but apparently not. Attempts to affix Grade 6 materia will always result in failure when used as a second or later materia in advanced materia melding. So originally these were going to be called something else, like Grade 5 Ultra materia or something like that, but I guess they're just calling them Grade 6. You can only use one per item and it has to be in the first slot. Materia can now be affixed to gear and weapons without carbonized matter. Okay. That's nice. That means that, because this was kind of an issue, it cost more money to affix your own materia than it did, in many cases, to have the NPC do it, because the cost of carbonized matter was higher than what the NPC was charging. The following adjustments have been made in accordance with the above. Carbonized matter is no longer obtainable from duties and quests. Players will now only be able to gather grade 1 carbonized matter for class quests. All other grades of carbonized matter can no longer be obtained and will be removed from the gathering logs. Vendors will no longer carry carbonized matter. Sale prices for grades 2 through 5 carbonized matter have been adjusted. Players will no longer be able to sell or purchase carbonized matter on the market. The cost to have materia melded by an NPC has been reduced. Okay. The maximum craftsmanship control and CP values have been raised for certain materia affixed gear. I'll be honest, by the way, going back a step, I wish the materia melder NPC's affixed cost went up, because I feel like it's a good community interaction. And it would be nice to have people who are like, yeah, I'll affix materia, but I'll do it for, a certain price. And if the materia melder will do it for 1,000 gil, just have him do it. Anyway, I'm not going to gripe. Let's talk about these notes. The maximum craftsmanship, control, and CP values have been raised for certain materia affixed gear. Please note that the attributes of materia affixed gear and weapons prior to this will not be diminished. A new value cap will be applied to any items with affixed materia surpassing the previous cap. I'm going to assume that all made sense. It kind of went over my own head. The names of the following items have been adjusted. Pot of Oriental Bean and Paste is now the Pot of Oriental Miso and Paste. The Pot of Oriental Bean Sauce is now the Pot of Oriental Soy Sauce. And the Fair Voucher is now the Fair Voucher 15? 16. Fair Voucher 16. XVI. The following items will become tradable. Items and can no longer be bought or sold. Forever Friends. What? The following items will become tradable items and can no longer be bought or sold. Okay, I'm not actually familiar what the Forever Friends item is, so let's move on. The icons for the following items have been adjusted. Grade 2 Dark Matter, Grade 3 Dark Matter, Grade 4 Dark Matter, Grade 5 Dark Matter, Grade 6 Dark Matter. The Piety Materia has had its color changed, I'm assumed to make it red. That would be my guess. Emotes learned from the Ballroom Etiquette manuals will apparently have new icons. Okay. Sound effects have been added to the draw action for certain weapons. Cool. Gear that can be exchanged for elegant tomestones of scripture implemented in prior to patch 3.4 can now be sold, desynthesized, or submitted for expert delivery missions. Grade 7 dark matter has been added for repairs of high-level gear, I imagine. The buying and selling prices of certain items have been adjusted. The level cap for desynthesis has been increased from 250 to 320. The cumulative skill cap is gone up in response from 770 to 980. The following adjustments have been made to item desynthesis. The success rate for item desynthesis has been increased. Desynthesis skill progression rates for certain items implemented in patches prior to 3.57 has been increased. Skill progression rates for will be increased further for classes with fewer items available for desynthesis. The level cap for Disciples of the Hand and Land has been increased to 70, which we knew. Crafter actions and traits have been added, applicable to all crafter classes. Hasty Touch 2, Careful Synthesis 3, Rapid Synthesis 2, Patient Touch, Manipulation 2, Prudent Touch, Focus Synthesis, Focus Touch, Initial Preparations, Specialty Reinforced, Specialty Refurbish, and Specialty Reflect. It sounds like they are doing again, this is all 61 to 69, they may be attempting once again to make it so if you level a particular job, a crafting job, that you can actually craft high-level things without the need to level all the other jobs. I'm hoping that we get a notification here that you can repair any item no matter what crafting jobs you have leveled, because otherwise, if you want to be useful as a crafter, you kind of have to do it all. Anyway, traits. At level 63, you will learn Quality Assurance, and at level 70, you will learn Stroke of Genius. Certain actions can be obtained by completing class quests. Right. No details on what any of these do right now. We will definitely have a video on all of these traits once we have access to them, once we know what they are. Moving on. Certain crafter actions have been adjusted. Bayergot's Brow can now be used to craft non-high quality items. The specialist can now use this with a 100% success rate. Bayergot's Miracle, the efficiency bonus granted by each stack of Inner Quiet has been increased from 10 to 15%. CP cost has been reduced from 16 to 10. Alright. Okay. Trained Hand, success rates have been increased from 90 to 100%. CP cost has been reduced from 32 to 16. Observe, CP cost has been reduced from 14 to 7. When a recipe's level is higher than your crafter level, the difficulty raising quality will increase. The difficulty of raising quality will increase, while the difficulty of raising progress will decrease. Okay, so check this out. So what they're saying is, let's translate this. This means that when you are leveling, you will be able to have an easier time to increase the progress of an item. No. You have an... Nope, okay, hold on. No, I got it. So the difficulty to raise quality is higher. So it'll be harder for you to like get the critical successes to make high qualities. But it will be easier for you to finish the item so that you can finish it and get experience. Experience can no longer be gained by the following recipes. Recipes learned from Moogle crafting quests and recipes from custom deliveries. Alright, that's fair. Especially because, like, you could just buy that stuff off a vendor, especially for the custom deliveries, and spam them out. Please also note that experience cannot be gained from crafter class quest recipes implemented in this patch. Spearfishing has been added to fishing. Spearfishing can be conducted underwater by aiming your jig at a fish in teeming waters. Spearfishing can be unlocked by completing the following side quest. I wonder if it works like mining. New fishing experience. I get it. Fisher level 61, the Ruby Sea. Yep, alright. How to spearfish. Equip your spearfishing jig, then dive underwater and use the actions Fathom or Shark Eye to identify the location of teeming waters. Target the teeming waters. After you target the teeming waters, wait for bubbles to appear. When bubbles appear, a sea creature will approach, and you can use your jig to spear it. Successfully speared fish will be added to your inventory. That's kind of interesting. In the event that you fail to spear anything, you may try again so long as the teeming waters have not been fully depleted. Looks to be kind of a combination of a mining node and a fishing spot. Replacing the head of your jig will allow you to spear a larger variety of fish. You can quit spearfishing at any time by hitting escape or cancel. Similar to fishing, all fish you spear will be recorded in your fishing log, fishing guide, and your records. When certain conditions are met, swimming shadows will appear in teeming waters. Spearfishing jigs. There are 3 types of jig heads, each which will allow you to spear different kinds of fish. Players can swap between jig heads using the jig head action. Jigs can be purchased from NPCs upon unlocking spearfishing. Good, because you know what fishing needed? More things to fill up your inventory. Teeming waters. Teeming waters where spearfishing can be conducted has been added. And then they have a series of actions. Fathom, Shark Eye, Jig, Jig Head, Veteran Trade, Calm Waters, Shark Eye 2, Truth of Ocean, Salvage, Bountiful Catch, and Nature's Bounty. And new traits, Auto Fathom and Fish Whisperer. Certain traits and actions can be obtained upon completing class quests. New actions and traits have been added to the Disciple of Land. Miners will get new actions, Impulsive Appraisal 2, Unearth 3, Nald's Counsel, and Bountiful Yield 2. I kind of hope that these override existing things, because I seem to remember that my miner's action bar is kind of filled up, but we'll see. Traits, Enhanced Stealth 7 and 8, Endless Toil of the Mountaineer, Enhanced Stealth 9, and Enhanced GP Regeneration. Alright, I look forward to finding out exactly what these do. A similar set of abilities for Botanist with slightly modified names are available as well. I am interested to see how they all work in our new rotations. For Fisher, some new additions have been added. Mooch 2, Double Hook, and a series of other traits, including Enhanced Stealth, Gull Eye, Salt Fishing, and Enhanced GP Regeneration. Hopefully that's something that you can use while you're mining, so that you can earn back GP in the middle of a rotation. That'll add quite a bit of complexity to correctly playing a gathering class. I like that. The following adjustments have been made to the Disciples of Land actions. Bountiful Yield. GP cost has been reduced from 200 to 100. Bountiful Harvest. Also same thing, from 200 to 100. Good. Utmost Caution. Reduces the next item where increased by 5 for 100 GP. It now reduces the next item wear by 10 for 200. It's basically the same thing, except for you only use it once. Instinctual Appraisal. Item wear has been increased from 5 to 10. Okay, alright. Changing things up on us. The algorithm used to calculate GP recovered when changing to a non-gathering class has been adjusted. The limit to accumulated GP as a non-gathering class has been removed. Alright, so there were, if you don't do a lot of gathering, or maybe you were unaware of this, if you switch from a battle class to a gathering class, you had a maximum of 100 or 400 GP, and then you would have to regenerate the rest of it. This would mean that if you were if you had to clear out mobs that were around a node or whatever, or you just forgot to change to your gathering class before you got to the node, you would change and you would have to immediately drink a cordial to fill up your GP. I'm glad that's been removed. Oh my god. I've lost my place. Do not gesture with your hands when you are holding a mouse. Okay, hold on. I think I found where I was. Alright, we're good. We're good. Moving on. The following adjustments have been made to fishing. AAA records can now be obtained from all fishing spots, including all fishing spots that are listed in the fishing log. Experience granted to level 50 or between level 50 and 60 fishers. Catching fish from fishing locations equivalent to their level has been increased. Players can now use consumable items while waiting for fish to bite. That means you can drink a cordial in the middle of fishing. Fishers are going to be very happy about that. If you aren't a fisher, you don't understand how valuable that is. The following actions can now be used during mooching opportunities. Please note, however, that using the following actions will result in the loss of your mooching opportunity. You can use Chum, Fishing Eyes, Patience, and Patience 2, but you won't be able to mooch. Interesting. Legendary nodes and unspoiled locations will no longer disappear while players are in the middle of gathering. Thank you! Oh, I'm applauding. Oh, I was doing some gathering last night and I kept missing the final gathers because I was off by a second. If another gathering location appears during this time, it will be displayed on the minimap and in your chat log. The duration of legendary nodes and unspoiled locations added during patch 3.x cycle has been increased from 1 hour to 2 hours Eorzea time. So that's very nice. They used to be only available for 55 minutes. Now they will be available for an hour and 55 minutes. The time of day during which legendary nodes has been changed, they now can be found during both mornings and evenings in Eorzea time. So before, I believe mining nodes appeared in the morning and botany nodes appeared during the evening, or the other way around. Now they will appear on a 12-hour cycle instead of a 24-hour cycle. Items gathered from ephemeral gathering points used for ethereal reduction are no longer hidden. Alright, so good. The types of items that can be obtained via ethereal reduction and the frequency with which they appear has been adjusted. The collectability of crafted items, crafted items has been adjusted. Where before the collectability of crafted items was equivalent to the quality of the item, collectability will now be equal to 1/10 of the item's quality. This change also applies to all exchangeable items. I have no idea what this means. Please note that this change has been made only with the Please note that this change has only been made in order to reduce the number of digits to represent an item's collectability. This will not affect the value of the collectible item or the difficulty in producing them. The collectability of items obtained before this change will remain the same. Exchanging them, however, will not result in any losses. The change does not apply to collectible items obtained from gathering. Let's wet my whistle a little bit. My voice is getting a little bit straggly. When you finish crafting an item, its collectability will now display in the progress window. Collectible items deemed to be high quality when gathered will have a higher collectability. The higher your perception, the higher the collectability of the item you gathered will be. I like this, especially in the cases of fishing, hopefully. The rarity of collectible items gathered by miners and botanists, even with lower perception, has been increased. The probability of obtaining collectible items when wear exceeds the limit has been increased from 10% to 30%. That's good. In accordance with the changes made above, the miner botanist actions Deep Breath and Last Ditch have been removed entirely. Players can change specialties up to 3 times a week. This resets every Tuesday at 1 a.m. That's a weird one. Alright, the following changes have been made to the crafting log. New categories have been added. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I definitely see new logos on there that I've not seen before. The Special Recipes category has been reorganized. Players will now be able to view the special recipes and level-based recipes separately by switching between tabs. Okay, so on the left side we have the little, it looks like an increasing bar graph. That's going to be your level-based recipes, and on the right is the special recipes. A new filter to hide completed recipes has been added. This filter will only affect recipes that have been marked as complete. The search function is now in a separate tab. The position where the class icon displays has been changed. Players can now switch between tabs displaying search results and search history. Great! Moving on to new gathering points have been added, which I guess we'd probably expect. Again, watch where you gesture, buddy. We're holding on to a mouse here that's controlling how fast our screen is scrolling. New fishing holes have been added. Again, right. Please note that not all locations listed in the fishing guide will be accessible in patch 4.0, because they probably can't get to all the new areas yet. New tomes of regional folklore have been added, so they haven't gotten rid of that functionality. New items can be used for ethereal reduction, and the camera angle when crafting as a Lalafell has been adjusted. I don't play a Lalafell, I have no sympathy. Rowena's House of Splendor's collectible appraisers and script exchangers are now also available in Limsa Lominsa, Gridania, and Ul'dah. Very nice. Experience that can be gained for players over level 60 delivering collectible items under level 60 to the House of Splendor's exchange is now being capped at 10,000. Oh my. I gathered a lot of adamantite ore yesterday. It sounds like I might have wasted some time. The following changes and additions have been made to crafters and gathering scripts. The yellow crafter script and yellow gatherer script currencies have been added for Disciples of the Hand and Disciples of the Land that are level 70. Players can begin exchanging their collectible items for these scripts at Splendor's exchanges starting at level 70 and can have up to a maximum of 2,000 at any given time. Yellow crafter scripts and yellow gatherer scripts have no weekly cap. Yellow crafter scripts and yellow gatherer scripts are scheduled to be added approximately 2 weeks after the start of the official service of Stormblood. So they are like red gatherer scripts, but there is no weekly cap. So this is a change to how those scripts functions worked. I think it's a positive step forward for gatherers. Gatherers don't like to be arbitrarily gated. Blue crafter scripts and blue gatherer scripts are no longer obtainable. In accordance with this change, all activities which yield blue crafter scripts or blue gatherer scripts will now yield red crafter scripts or red gatherer scripts. Blue crafter scripts and blue gatherer scripts can now be exchanged directly for red crafter scripts and red gather. I probably should have shorthanded that at some point. You can do that at the script exchange in Idleshire and in Revenant's Toll. The weekly limit on red crafter scripts and red gatherer scripts has been removed. You can collect as many as you want now. Merchant titles have been amended to better explain their function. In accordance with this change, special trader icons have also been added to the minimap. So, Osgith here is the guild supplier. Ariana is the servant of splendors. They are traders. Alright, yeah, I like that. That's a good change. The following changes have been made to vendors. Shields will no longer be sold under the Weapons tab. Only primary and secondary tools will now display under Tools. Tools aside from primary and secondary tools have been moved to Items. Okay. Level 50 weapons, armor, and accessories have been added to the vendors in Limsa Lominsa, Gridania, and Ul'dah. Ul'dah? I don't know why I said that. Level 60 weapons, armor, and accessories have been added to the vendors in Ishgard. Yep, okay, that makes sense. New items have been added to the inventory of the Calamity Salvagers, and new mounts have been added. Got some screenshots. Fancy wolf. I think these wolves are what's awarded from EX Primals. This bear is an example of the enhanced warrior class mount. New minions have been added. Yep, okay. They're cute. New chocobo barding added. Alright. And we're getting into system changes. I'm going to stop here, and actually it seems like I most certainly separated out the item stuff here and crafting related issues into its own video, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Click any of the links that I post up here that will lead you, or in the in the video description, lead you to my other videos. I did a separate one on PvP, and then I have a more full, complete for the rest of the patch notes. Thank you for tuning in. I know there's a ton of notes. It's a lot of changes to Final Fantasy. I thank you for bearing with me. I hope you're getting ready for Stormblood and you're having a good day, and I hope you're ready to go in there. Make sure to stay tuned to the channel. We're going to have a video coming up a little bit later on when they reveal the full patch notes that will include class guides and all the details of our classes. That'll be a little bit later on. Thank you again for tuning in, and I'll see you in Stormblood.